Yo, what's going on, guys? K7 here, and in today's video, I'm starting a bit of a new series, like this how to counter series. So, I'm gonna be going over pretty much different characters in the cast and explaining how you can use, your character, or just talk about common counterplay to the character. Um, so first, we're gonna be doing Honda, which honestly, he's one of my most hated characters in the game right now, which is why I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out how to fight him. But in the next video, I'm definitely going to be doing JP. But after JP, I'm going to be doing different characters, like whatever you guys want to see in the comments. So just let me know. I'll greatly appreciate it. But to start off, let's talk about going on offense against Honda, because this is something that I want to bring up. And for the most part, if you're able to like win round start or whatever, and you're fighting against Honda, this is something that's important to know, that he actually doesn't have a DP. So if he does, let's set him to wake up headbutt. I was labbing some stuff a little bit earlier, so that's why I had him set. But let's say he does wake up headbutt, right? I try to meaty him. Headbutt has armor, so it actually will eat the hit and then knock me back away from him, which is it's cool, but it's not throw immune. So I can actually just sit here and keep looping throw on this character. He can never get out of throw loops unless he uses a bar of meter, which is his level 1 super. So I'll switch him to do level 1 on wake up. So now he's doing level 1 on wake up. So now he's actually forced to do his level 1 if he wants me to stop throwing him. So this is actually something good to note. So if you ever got him in the corner in the throw loop situation and he doesn't have any meter, it's a good chance you can just sit there and throw loop him. But like I said, wake up level 1, it still works, so you can bait that out. Or if you have something that beats wake up throw and level 1, like Jamie does in this situation, this will be wake up headbutt and level 1. So with Jamie, you can actually beat both. So it's actually really hard for Honda to wake up against you. Just something to keep in mind. But yeah, so going on offense against the character, just keep in mind that you can throw loop him if he does not have meter. That's just the one thing I wanted to speak about, like as far as offense went. But now we're going to talk a little bit about just the neutral game against the character. So typically, there's two different ways that I like to fight against Honda. Number one is I like to keep my distance and like to play in a reactable range to where if he does headbutt, I can react to it. So like I'm playing in the reactable range, I see headbutt, I challenge, I win. It's really just that simple. Just play in the reactable range of headbutt. You could press a button to counter it, or you could DP it if your character has a DP. Like here, I DP'd it on reaction. Right there, I messed it up. I messed it up again, but that's why you want to play in the reactable range, right? But if you play a little closer, like here, right there we traded. We don't really want the trade. Right here, I got hit trying to challenge it. Right here, I blocked it because I pressed too late. Like, you don't want to be too close to him. It makes it really hard to sit there and react to it. Also, if you're at like a further range away, like here, you can actually react with drive impact. It's a little bit harder, but when we're at that reactable range, like I just spoke about, you can actually react and do it. The timing on it is it's not that difficult, but if you do time it late, you won't get the punish. Like right there, I did it late. He could have drive impact back there, so just keep that in mind. Also, even if you're up close to him, you want to try to time your drive impact where he puts his hands above his head, like right about here. You see how his hands are above his head? Like roughly around here is when you want to like try to react and press the drive impact. Right there, I didn't press it in time, but you get the gist of it. That's roughly when you want to do it. Now I'm going to talk about dealing with headbutt on block. So whenever Honda does headbutt, he's actually -4 after it. So this means that it's your turn. So you can press, and you could pretty much press a button before the Honda player can get a button. But you want to try to choose a button that'll actually reach the Honda player before they're able to actually press a button to hit you. So in this first recording that I have set, I have the Honda player set to do he just set to do headbutt, so I could show you what buttons will come out. So right now he's just gonna do headbutt, and if I press stand medium kick will hit. Let's see what other buttons hit. Okay, stand medium kick hits, stand medium punch hits. So those are 2 buttons that hit so far. Nice. And then what else hits? Let me see if my crouching medium hits. Let's see if that hits. Yep, that hits. Like Jamie has a good bit of like a good couple of buttons to choose from when it comes to checking Honda. Now on the second recording, I have the Honda player set to mash, or the Honda set to mash. So if I want to press my stand medium punch, okay, apparently stand medium punch trades. So I don't like I'm not completely opposed to trading, but it's like I want to try to find something a little bit better. Oh, okay, so the low forward actually hits. So like in that situation, you want to go for low forward. Okay, the Honda player likes to mash. I'm going for low forward after headbutt. Now see, I know what buttons do what here, but I'm just kind of walking through it so you guys can think like how it would look for you going to your character and trying to press buttons and trying to see how it would work after challenging headbutt. But for Jamie, low forward is your best bet. But also stand medium kick is also not too bad. It will trade if they mash immediately after, but it's not bad at all. Just for a simple fact that I'll show you. Actually, let me show you in the other recordings. It'll probably make a better case for it. So right here, I have the Honda player set to do EX headbutt. So if you know the Honda player is doing EX headbutt and you're trying to challenge him every time, then of course EX headbutt's gonna win. But you can press a jab or something to kind of check if they're doing anything else other than EX headbutt. So like if they do headbutt into dash, for instance, your light jab will check it, and you'll also still be safe from EX headbutt. But this is actually very risky for Honda players, so you still have the chance to get the stand heavy kick punish or whatever big button punish it is for your character. You still have a chance to use that. So on the last one, I have him set to jump. So this is just to see what buttons will catch the Honda if he's spamming jump after he does headbutt. So a lot of Honda players will do headbutt, or headbutt mash, or headbutt jump. It's just to see like what works out against the character. So stand medium kick will actually hit him out a bit, which is pretty good. Stand medium punch actually doesn't hit in time, and neither does my crouching medium punch. Nothing else really hits besides stand medium kick. But one thing that I noticed that you can do with Jamie is a quick little tip. You can do stand medium kick into heavy palm, and if he jumps and he gets hit, he'll actually block this. When he blocks it, you're +3. So it's not a bad situation that you get after it, but it's just something niche that I found out. But those are pretty much the situations that that I tried to do after blocking headbutt. So after I block headbutt, sometimes I'll challenge, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll block headbutt, then I'll jump. Sometimes I'll block headbutt, then I'll throw out sweep, see if they're doing anything, like if they're mashing or whatever the case is. You want to kind of try to switch up your options to beat the Honda player. You don't want him sitting there doing like headbutt into mash into headbutt into mash into headbutt. You want to make sure that you're streamlining his options for him to do the most punishable thing that it is that he can do, which is EX headbutt. So in this case, we want to pretty much make the Honda player do headbutt and then challenge him every time to force EX headbutt. Now for this this next little situation, it's not really a situation, but like I just spoke about how I like to space out against Honda. So that would be layer 1. Look at that as layer 1. And then if we manage to block a headbutt, even while trying to, drive impact it or check it whenever he does headbutt at the reactable range, or try to parry it, which is the safest option. Even if you're in reactable range, parry is much more safe, especially when you're in this range right here and you want to just make sure you're not getting hit or taking too much drive gauge damage. You want to try to flash parry it or try to get your perfect parry off to make sure that you're counterplaying the character in the safest way possible. But with that being said, besides trying to sit there and space him out for layer 1, if he manages to get in or manages to make us block headbutt, that all the headbutt checking stuff was layer 2. That's us trying to, have countermeasures for layer 2 if he manages to get past layer 1. And layer 1 is us spacing him out. Now, the second strategy that I have against Honda is pretty much staying relatively close to him. Not like throw range close, but like roughly around this range. And this is important because I'm crouching in this range, and that's important because I don't want a butt slam to hit me. So if I record the Honda, I'll set some new recordings here. So let's go to record. So in this recording, Honda's doing butt slam, right? So if I'm stand blocking, I block the butt slam, and I have to pretty much guess what side he's gonna land on and try to anti-air him. We don't actually. You can even get hit by it if you're doing something else, like if you jump. Like right there, I got caught jumping. Right there, I pressed the button, I got hit. Right there, I hit him out of it, whatever. But as you can see, like you blocking it and trying to do something after, like right now I'm gonna block it and try to air him. Right there, we traded. We don't want that. Right there, we traded. We don't want that. Right there, he smoked my anti-air. Right here, I'm gonna try to DP. I messed up my DP input. I'm gonna read DP the reverse way. I DP the reverse way. I managed to get it. But you can see, like, we don't want to have to sit there and play that game. And also, one thing to note about butt slam is that he can actually steer it. So if he does butt slam, he can keep it close to him, or he could side switch. So with that one recording that I showed you, I was just sitting there getting hit or trading with butt slam while trying to only hit him if he was crossing up. What if he stayed same side? What if he went directly above me? What if he EX'd it and it was much faster? You know, like there's a lot of situations where like I don't really want to deal with this, especially after blocking the first hit. Like I don't want to deal with that. So this is the point of crouching. So when I crouch and he does butt slam, if I do instant jump button, right there I got smoked, but if I do instant jump button, I'm usually able to counter poke this, especially if I could do jump back, I could do jump forward. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And if I just stay crouching, I can see what side he's gonna land on, and I can also hit it. Or if I see him do it, you could also do a DP out of it if you're able to recognize what side he's gonna be on. Right there, I messed up the input for DP, but if you know what side he's gonna be on, you could DP it. And then if you notice that he decided to cross up, you can cross cut it. Right there, I messed up because you know it's still butt slam. Butt slam is still gonna work sometimes, but you kind of get the gist of it. Right there, he stayed, you know, relatively on top of me, so it made it a little bit harder. And also, what you could do is you could just crouching heavy punch it. Right here, I messed it up. Right there, I also messed it up because if he's directly on top of you, it's gonna be very hard to do it. I think the only characters that actually could like anti-air him if he's like directly above you is like maybe like Luke with his crouching heavy punch or something like that. But this is where you got to find out what button is best for your character. So Jamie can sometimes crouching heavy punch it, but you don't want to always go for that. I think the most consistent option is instant jump light kick. It's literally never a bad situation for you because you're always either going to get the hit. Well, right there, I got smoked, but you're always either going to get the hit or you're just going to whiff, because sometimes there's been situations where like he'll do it and it'll whiff. But this is pretty much what I'm going for. I want to kind of try to stay crouched so I don't block the first hit, and I can anti-air or air to air rather the second hit. Or like I said, if I'm just standing here and I see what he's doing, I can just press crouching heavy punch. That's kind of the idea that I'm going for. And this is what you should do with your character. There's some characters that have a much better crouching anti-air buttons than Jamie, so you can find out what's best for your character. But I'm just kind of giving you the gist of it so you can see what you should be doing. Now I'm going to talk about block string counterplay. So with Honda, a lot of his block strings, or mostly what Honda players do, they'll do like button into headbutt. And this is really important to note because if your character has a DP, you can actually DP the gap if there is a gap, and you're still at no risk if there's no gap. So I'll show you this right now. So right here, I'm playing Honda, right? I'll do, this is crouching medium punch into medium headbutt. And if I'm trying to space out at the spacing that I spoke about before, like right here, I'm trying to space out properly. Right there was no gap, but I was holding down back the whole time. Now, look what happens when I let go of down back after blocking the crouching medium punch. I completely let go and I didn't get hit. And this is because it jailed. So if it's going to jail, you can let go of block and you're still going to block the attack. What does that mean for us? That means I can sit there and buffer a DP, and if there were to be a gap, DP will come out, and since there's no gap, I'm still blocking. There's no harm done. But let's do a different version of it. Let's do crouching light punch into headbutt. So right there. I missed it. I see the range, like right here. Oh no, it's like right about here. So right there was a gap, so I could have DP'd that. So let me show you. I messed up the DP, but you can DP out of this. So right there, I got the DP. So if Honda players are ever doing like any kind of pressure like that that's not real or that's not true, if you're able to buffer your DP after the block, then you're able to get your you're able to counter him doing button into headbutt, which is something they spam a lot. Honda players usually do, like, this is what Honda offense typically looks like. It's not every Honda player. I know some people play a little bit different, but you get the gist of it. It's usually like button, headbutt, butt slam, button, headbutt, button, and you know, like that's just how their offense is formulated. So to kind of counteract that, like I said, we have the crouching, so butt slam is not hitting you, and you can anti-air it. Also, if you want to block a button and then try to go for DP or super or whatever it is that your character has, you can still do that as well. And that works pretty well for me. So I want you guys to try it out, see how it works for your character. And last but not least, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of his buttons, like some buttons, like some notable button presses that Honda players use, and what you could do to kind of counteract it. So a good button for Honda players that they typically press is that forward heavy kick. It's actually -5. So if you ever block it, if you have a far enough reaching normal, so right here, he was safe right there, but you can actually get a punish here. So Jamie, I could do stand light kick, or I could do stand jab, or if he's close enough, I can do crouching light punch, you know, whatever. But this is good because, like I said, if we're playing how I spoke about before, how we're kind of like standing kind of close to him, but not too close, where we're in like that good range of him, where if we block something like that, we'll be able to get the punish, right? We're standing in a good range to where we can punish the character for doing like silly mistakes like that, which is the point of our positioning. Another thing to note about Honda, which many people don't really talk about. I know the character is very scary. He's, you know, big sumo wrestler. You don't want to really be that close to him, but when you're close to him, you can kind of abuse stuff like that. But one thing to take note of is that if Honda players ever jump, or if they do jump forward, or if they do walk forward, any sort of forward walking, not crouching motion means they're letting go of their charge. And letting go of your charge as a charge character is always bad because you lose access to moves that you otherwise would have access to should you have been charging. So if Honda players decide to dash up, or they want to do drive rush, or whatever it is that they decide to do, just know that they will not have access to headbutt or butt slam for roughly, I want to say like 2.5 seconds. I think that's roughly how long it takes to charge in this game. 2.5 to 3 seconds. It's a certain amount of frames. I'm not sure what the exact frames are, but just keep that in mind. So whenever you see Honda players jump or move forward or do anything that is not standing there like they should be doing, they don't have charge, which, when you keep that in mind, it kind of gives us the liberty to kind of take the space that we want. So if we know he's going to be charging, we can kind of walk up and take the space so we could be here, because we know he's charging. So he's going to be holding down back, waiting for us to walk into his range, and then he's either going to headbutt, or he's going to butt slam, or he's going to press a button that we want him to press, like the forward heavy kick. Or if he wants to whiff any buttons, like let's say Honda is like pressing this button right here. If he whiffs it, it's an easy whiff punish, right? Like you see him whiff, maybe not an easy whiff punish, but you get the idea. Like you're playing a little bit of neutral, you see him whiff a button, you know, you still have the chance to get a nice little whiff punish, especially if you just sitting there spamming like this Honda is right now, right? So also another reason for standing at the range we're standing at is so we can punish moves like that, like right there. That move is punishable if you block it close to Honda. This move becomes much less punishable when you block it further away from Honda. So right there is -4, and my crouching jab is not going to reach that far. But if you were to block it closer, like here, it's -6. Typically, if you block it at a decent range, it'll be like -5, like right there. I get a punish, but you guys kind of get the idea of it. But one last thing that I want to talk about before I end it off, I don't want this video to be too long, is that you should keep in mind that Honda does have this move right here. It's not talked about enough. I think it's one of his most annoying moves, actually. It's his forward moving neutral jump punch. Like, he can just do it off of neutral jump, and it's very annoying. So like, if we're playing the kind of try to stay close play style, you still got to keep in mind that he could do this. So you got to just be looking out and be able to anti-air him. It's not the hardest thing to anti-air, since it kind of has to hit really low to the ground. So it's not like a different jumping button like Luke or like Jamie's, where it hits kind of early and low to the ground. It has to take a little bit to get there, but the threat of it doesn't even come from it, like, you know, being late or whatever. It's the fact that he can move with it in a neutral jump range. Like right here, if anybody's in this range against any Shoto character and you just kind of jump trying to bait a DP, they'll whiff DP in your face, right? And that's kind of what the idea is. Like, oh, you do neutral jump, they whiff DP. But Honda, he can kind of like sit there and jump and want you to whiff your DP. But if you don't want to whiff your DP, he could just jump and then actually do a button still and move forward with it. He could also move backwards with it, so keep that in mind. Like, if he just wants to jump back and be annoying, he can do that. But I wanted to put that in the air, so while you're implementing these game plans or these strategies, you know what else you should be looking for. But that's gonna do it for this video. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please let me know if I missed anything. If you guys have any more tips against Honda, I would love to know. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. It'll be a JP video. You guys take it easy. Peace.